No, I'm really pissed off about tonight. Really pissed off about tonight. I am. Name my topic tonight is called awful. It's called awful in Atlanta, Georgia. Was evolution worth watching tonight? That's my topic tonight. I mean, I can't. I mean, this is just unbelievable tonight. That's my name. Name my topic. Yep. Before I start with my show tonight, I'm gonna open the show with a little bit of music tonight. I'm gonna show this with this number one hit single from 1995 called "Can't Cry Anymore" by Sheryl Crow. So stick around. I'll be right back. Get the music playing. Yep, Can't Cry Anymore
by Cheryl Crow. We just heard.
So let's go tonight with tonight's stupid ass event. Way to go, WWE. Name my topic tonight, like I said, is awful and arrogant. Awful and arrogant in Atlanta, Georgia. Was Evolution worth watching? So much I have to say. Okay, WWE Evolution kicks off with an aerial shot of the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Pre-show entrants are shown. We see a number of wrestlers walking in. Bayley, Valkyria, Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, SmackDown Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, and WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, and Raw Women's World Champion Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are the wrestlers shown. We cut a live shot inside the arena into a video package for the show. Back in the arena, Joe Tessitore welcomes everyone to the show. Stephanie tells them that the first ever evolution they have a lot of prove. They have to prove that they belong. That they have to their own PLE to their own show, and everyone will show up and watch. And 7 years later, the women are regularly main eventing. And tell me what's the worst thing WWE did. Lilian Garcia was unable to announce tonight. I was unable to ring announce for tonight's Evolution due to her infection. Like I said, back in the ring, Joe Tessitore welcomes everyone to the show. Stephanie tells him the first ever Evolution. They have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove that they belong. They can have their own PLE and their own show that everyone would show up and watch. And 7 years later, the women are really main eventing. She says that Jade Cargill against Naomi in a no holds barred match is the one she wants to watch tonight. Joe introduces her, our ring announcers for the show, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. The Cole leads us into the first match, which is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Triple threat for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky, the Man Whore Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. The bell rings are underway. Bayley gets the crowd going and they're all on their feet. Bayley with a forearm on Lyra, knocking her to the outside of the ring. Becky and Bayley stand in the ring, and Becky holds four fingers up, symbolizing the four horsewomen. Bayley with the right hand and a back suplex. Lynch rolls to the outside, and Lyra hits Bayley from behind. Both women exchange right hands, and Bayley rolls her up, but Lyra kicks out. In comes Becky, who rolls them both up, but they both kick out. Becky throws Lyra into Bayley, and Lyra gets up, landing a crossbody onto Lynch. She goes for the cover, but Becky kicks out. Lyra grabs Becky by the arms, but in comes Bayley with a boot to the face onto Lyra. Bayley runs towards Lyra, but Lyra moves out of the way, and Bayley to the outside. Lyra goes for the dive to the outside, but she is caught by both women, who slam her face first into the announce table. Bayley and Lynch stare at each other and begin with right hands. Bayley throws her back down into the ring. As Bayley is getting back in the ring, Bayley kicks her down. Becky to the ropes, and she lands a best baseball slide. Becky on the ring apron and a flying punch on to Lyra. Becky back on her feet, but Bayley with a drop kick under the bottom rope onto Becky. Lyra gets up and she lands on a crossbody off the ring apron. Onto the outside. On the outside, Lyra goes for a turn DDT onto Becky, but Lynch throws her into the ring steps. Lynch grabs Bayley and throws her into the barricade. Becky with a suplex onto the barricade, and Bayley tweaks her knee Becky throws her into the ring and goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. Becky grabs Bayley, but Bayley with forearms. Bayley goes for a rose plant, but Becky reverses it, and gets out of it. Lynch goes for a manhandle slam, but Lyra with a double with a cross with a double crossbody off the top rope onto both women. Lyra with kicks on to Bayley, but Becky grabs Lyra's leg and hits Bayley with it. Lyra with a kick to the face onto Becky, followed by a suplex. Lyra rolls through it and lands on a fisherman's suplex. Lands on a fisherman's buster. She goes for a cover, but Bayley with a flying elbow off the top rope. The fans chant Bayley, and Bayley places Lyra on the top rope in a tree of woe. Bayley stomps on Lyra. In comes Becky, but Lyra with a sunset flip bomb, slamming Bayley down in the corner onto Lyra. She goes for the cover, but Becky kicks out. Lyra with still in a tree of woe with Bayley with an elbow drop. She goes for the cover, but Lyra kicks out. Bayley climbs to the top rope, but Becky gets on the ring apron and hits her with a right hand. Becky gets in the ring and climbs to the top rope, and in comes Lyra, but Becky kicks her down. Becky with a superplex off the top rope. She goes for cover, but Bayley kicks out. Becky would disarm her, but Bayley reverses it into a cover, but Becky kicks out. Becky goes for a disarmer once more, but Bayley reverses it into a rose plant, but Lyra would have dropped off the top rope onto both women. She goes for the cover on Bayley, but Bayley kicks out. All three women are down, and the fans are on their feet, clapping and chanting, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" All three get to their feet, and Becky with a double DT onto both women. Becky goes for the cover on Lyra, but Lyra kicks out. Becky gets to her feet and goes for the manhandle slam, but Lyra reverses it into a cover. Becky kicks out. Both women get up, and Becky with a manhandle slam. She goes for the cover, but Bayley breaks it up. Bayley and Becky get into it with right hands and slaps. Bayley to the ropes, but Becky with the right hand, Becky to the top ropes, and Bayley with a knee. Bayley lifts Becky up on her shoulders and slams her down to the mat. Becky with the belly with the on the mat. Bayley with the belly to belly. She goes for the cover, but Lyra breaks it up. Lyra with a kick to the side of the head onto Bayley. Lyra with a Nightwing onto Bayley. She goes for cover, but Bayley breaks it up. Bayley rolls Lyra up, but Lyra reverses it into a cover, and Bayley kicks out. Lyra goes for an egg to the side of the head, but Bayley ducks, and she lands on the rose plant. She goes for the cover, but in comes Becky, who gets a backslide and cover onto Bayley and gets the pin. Winner still Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky the Man Whore Lynch. So this means now, Lyra. This means now we got this is just garbage. Now we got this means now we're gonna see who's gonna turn each other, Becky or either Lyra. I'm gonna go if Lyra turns here. I'm gonna go with her. I'm gonna go with Lyra turning on Bayley because I won't be so pissed off because WWE's been treating because WWE's insulting our intelligence. I mean they're I mean they, I mean, they, I mean, they're shitting on they shit on Lyra when Roxanne Perez took that NXT when Roxanne took that NXT Women's title from her. Now they're shitting on her again, second time. Bayley and it's just complete bullshit. We see NXT General Manager Ava in attendance, The Rock's daughter, and Mark Henry. And we hear, excuse me, as Vicky Guerrero was in attendance. And we don't care. She's annoying, very annoying in my opinion. I was never a big fan of her. No offense to Eddie Garris's soul. NXT Women's Championship, Jason Jones with Fallon Henley and Jessamine Nix versus Jordan Grace with Blake Monroe. The bell rings to run away. Grace with a German suplex right away and JC to the outside of the ring. Grace with a suicide dive to the outside and she throws JC back into the ring. Grace goes for a cover, but JC kicks out. Grace grabs JC, but JC with an elbow to the face and Grace to the outside. JC on the ring apron and she kicks Grace in the face. And JC stands on top of Grace and she throws her back into the ring. JC back in the ring and lands on a swinging net breaker. She goes for the cover, but Grace kicks out. JC distracts the referee and Fallon Henley chokes Grace in the corner. JC goes for the cover and Grace kicks out. JC with a chin lock in the middle of the ring, but Grace lets her feet out of it. Grace with a spine buster, and both women are down. Both women get to their feet, and Grace with the right hand, but JC with chops to the chest. She grabs Grace, but Grace with a kick and slams JC into the corner 3 times. Grace lifts JC up and slams her face first onto the top turnbuckle. Grace with an unfolding powerbomb. She goes for the cover, but JC kicks out. Grace with a slam and she climbs to the second turnbuckle, goes for the Vader bomb, but JC moves out of the way. JC goes for the kick. Grace ducks and she runs to the ropes with a JC boot to the face. Grace on the ring apron and JC with a kick with a knee to the face, and she hangs Grace up on the second rope with a JC with a swinging draping neck breaker. She goes for the cover, but Grace kicks out. JC goes for a cannonball in the corner, but Grace moves out of the way. Grace with a sunset flip cover, but JC kicks out. JC with a cover, but Grace kicks out. Grace goes for the cover, but JC kicks out. JC goes for the big kick, but Grace catches her in a modified fisherman suplex by Grace. She goes for the cover, but JC kicks out. Grace on the ring apron, she climbs to the top rope. JC gets to her feet and lands a kick to the face. JC climbs to the top rope and she lands on a Frankensteiner, followed by a running knee. She goes for the cover, but Grace kicks out. JC orders Henley to grab the belt. Nix gets on the ring apron and distracts the referee. Fallon throws the belt in the ring, but Blake with a headbutt, and she knocks Fallon down. JC grabs the belt, but the referee grabs it from her. Grace rolls her up, but JC kicks out. Nix grabs the belt from on the outside, but Blake Monroe knocks her down, and Blake pulls the title. Fallon gets back on the ring apron, distracting the referee. JC throws Grace to the ropes, and Blake hits her with a championship. JC with a rolling encore, she rolls Grace up and gets the pin. Winner is still NXT Women's Champion JC Jane. JC, Fallon, and Nix look confused as to what just happened, but they get in the ring celebrating. Blake gets in the ring with the championship and hands it to JC, who looks at her confused. Blake smiles and leaves the ring as we see Grace on the outside bleeding. We see Jazz, Jacqueline, Ivory, and Marisa in attendance. I want Jordan Grace should have won this. Yeah, like I said, we see Jazz, Jacqueline, Ivory, and Marisa in attendance. Mrs. Wife. Fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The Judgment Day, we the champions. Roxanne and Raquel and Roxanne. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Sol Rukia and Zario versus Kabuki Warriors. The bell rings and run away. Zayn and Perez start the match. Perez with a slap to the face and she throws Zayn to the ropes, but Zayn with his scissor takedown. Zayn followed by a clothesline. She goes for the cover, but Perez kicks out. Asuka is tagged in and the Kabuki Warriors knock Sol and Zario off the ring apron. They double team Perez in the ring. Asuka with a hip attack onto Perez. He throws her to the ropes and Raquel is tagged into the ring. And in comes Zayn and she throws Zayn into Asuka. Raquel knocks Flair off the ring apron, and the Judgment Day knocks Sol out and Zario off the ring apron. Perez is tagged back in, and they double team Asuka. Perez to the ropes, but Asuka kicks her away. Asuka to the ropes, but Perez with the right hand, and Bliss tags herself in. Bliss with right hands onto Perez, followed by a double knees. Bliss slaps Raquel down. Perez with a poke to the eyes, and Zara tags herself into the match. Bliss looks at Zara and goes for a choke slam, but Zara with a choke of her own. She lifts Bliss up on her shoulders and presses her, but Alexa lands on her feet. Alexa with a chop to the leg. She goes to recover, but Zara blocks her and reverses it into a vertical suplex. Sol tags herself in. Zara knocks Flair down. Rukia goes for a cover, but Bliss kicks out. Bliss with a spinning slam. She goes for cover, but Bliss blocks it and she kicks Sol in the face. Raquel tags back in. She throws Bliss in the corner and Raquel with a splash. Perez tagged in and they go to the double team. But Flair is tagged in. Flair goes for a crossbody off the top rope onto the Judgment Day. Flair with chops onto both women. Flair takes out both women and the fans are on their feet. Flair clotheslines Raquel to the outside. Perez rolls Flair up from behind, but Flair kicks out. Perez to the ropes and Flair with a spear. She goes for cover, but Perez kicks out. Flair goes for a figure four leg four, but Raquel breaks it up. Asuka tags herself in and she lands on a drop kick off the top rope onto Raquel. Asuka with kicks onto Perez and Asuka to the ropes, and Zane is tagged in. She goes for the cover on Perez, but Zari breaks it up. Zari tags herself in for Perez. The Kabuki Warriors double team Zari in the middle of the ring. They go for a suplex, but Zari with a double suplex, and Sol is tagged in. Ruka with a handstand splash. In comes Charlotte, who breaks it up. Sol with the Soul Snatcher onto Flair. Bliss goes for Sister Abigail on Sol, but Sol reverses it. She holds Bliss and Zarya and goes for a spear on Bliss, but Flair moves Bliss out of the way, and Zarya accidentally spears Sol. Raquel tags herself in and she takes everyone out. Perez with a pop rocks onto Flair. Raquel lifts Bliss up and she throws her onto the Kabuki Warriors on Zarya and to the outside of the ring. Perez with a suicide dive onto Flair onto the outside. Raquel goes for a Tejada bomb onto Sol. She goes for cover and gets the pin. Winners still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Messed up tonight. Really messed up tonight. I don't know why in the world they have. I think Alexa Bliss shouldn't trust Charlotte Flair. She shouldn't trust Charlotte Flair. I don't know why in the world they put them as a tag team, Charlotte and Alexa. Terrible. And I really don't. As much as I'm real. And we all know. And I'm about. It's really crazy for Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne to be tag team partners, but Liv Morgan is arm is injured, and I know some fans are gonna if she comes back from an arm injury, they're gonna try to make Liv Morgan a babyface, and they're gonna try to turn a blind eye on Roxanne Perez. And y'all know that WWE's gonna shit on Roxanne Perez and get set up a feud between Roxanne and Liv. And I know somehow the WWE's gonna shit on Roxanne Perez and let Liv Morgan get all the spotlight. Yes, but still, I haven't forgotten about NXT stand last year's NXT stand deliver when she buried Lyra Valkyrie for the NXT Women's title. Okay, Tori Wilson, Melina, and Molly Hart are showing in attendance. Now we see this match that I'm not too happy about right here. The SmackDown Women's Championship match, Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. The bell rings are underway. Trish with a headlock takedown, but Tiffany reverses it into a leg scissor. Trish gets out of it and armbar onto Tiffany, who gets out of that. Trish with an arm drag both women to the ropes, and Tiffany with a drop kick, followed by a hip attack onto Trish's back. She goes for the cover, but Trish kicks out. Tiffany with a snap suplex, she drags Trish onto the ring apron. She grabs Trish with a leg scissor, dropping Tiffany from the ring apron onto the floor. Trish throws Tiffany onto the barricade and fans chant, "You still got it." She throws Tiffany back into the ring, and Trish with a spine buster, she goes for the cover, but Tiffany kicks out. Trish gets on the second rope and lands on a tornado DDT. She goes for cover, but Tiffany kicks out, and Trish chops to the chest. I'm sorry. Trish goes for another chop, but Tiffany ducks. Tiffany with a chop, and both women are with right hands. Tiffany kicks Trish down into the corner, but Tiffany with a cartwheel back elbow. Tiffany lifts Trish up for a suplex, and she drops Trish back first onto her knees. Tiffany climbs to the rope, and she lands on a swanton. She goes for cover, but Trish kicks out. Tiffany climbs to the top rope, but Trish with right hands, and she slams Tiffany down onto the mat. Trish with a kick to the side of the head. Trish goes for a satisfaction, but Tiffany blocks it. A rolling senton by Tiffany, and she goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Trish gets the knees up. Trish with a satisfaction, she goes for cover, but Tiffany kicks out. Trish climbs to the top rope, and she goes for a moonsault, but Tiffany gets her knees up. Tiffany with a kick to the side of the head, followed by Alabama slam. Tiffany with the prettiest moonsault ever, she goes for cover and gets the pin. Still SmackDown Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany leaves the ring and heads to the back as Trish gets her moment in the ring. She climbs to the ropes and celebrates with the fans. Alundra Blaze in attendance and is Alundra Medusa. Alundra Blaze is in attendance. Some of you know as Deborah Marcelli and as Lonnie Kai. She should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah. You know, I'm not really happy about this match right here. I'm pissed off about this match. Because I expected Naomi, because I expected Naomi to cash in. I thought Naomi was gonna cash in tonight. Cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Tiffany Stratton and Tiffany Stratton and Trish. But that didn't happen. Because I was expected for Nick Aldis, for SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis, to make the announcement that her no holds barred match with Jay will be for the SmackDown Women's title. And Jay becomes the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and Naomi will ask for a rematch clause for the SmackDown Women's Champion title against Jay at SummerSlam 2025. But that my prediction was wrong. But I'm gonna get to that situation a bit later. Let me finish up. And Trish Stratus, we thank you. You saw Trish Stratus giving everyone applause, and thank you for 40 for everything you've done. And now let's see. Now here we go. This next match right here. Um, No holds barred match. Bianca Belair as special guest referee. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. As Jay is walking down to the ring, Naomi gets out of the ring and goes for a right hand. I don't know why Naomi didn't cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase earlier tonight. Cowardly ass. Jade with a right hand, she throws Naomi into the barricade as Bianca asks for the bell and we're underway. Jade throws Naomi to the ring steps and she grabs Naomi, but Naomi slams Jade's face first into the ring steps. Naomi grabs a kendo stick from under the ring. She swings it towards Jade, but Jade ducks. Jade with a suplex on the outside of the ring. Jade grabs the table from under the ring and she places it on the outside. Jade takes her time to set up the table and that allows Naomi to recover. Jade grabs Naomi, but Naomi throws her face first onto the ring post. Naomi grabs the candlestick and hits Jade with it. Naomi begins pulling out the weapons from under the ring, throwing a steel chair and a garbage can in the ring. Jade hits her with a spear on the outside. She throws Naomi into the ring. When throws Naomi into the ring, and Jade grabs the two backs and places it on the ring and apron. Naomi gets in the ring, but Naomi lands on Bulldog onto the steel chair. She goes for the cover, but Jade kicks out. Naomi throws Jade shoulder first into the ring post. Naomi opens the toolbox and pulls out a steel chain. Naomi climbs to the top rope and she wraps around Jade's face, pulling her upwards, but Jade overpowers Naomi. Jade slams Naomi down into the mat and she grabs a steel chain. She wraps around her first and hits Naomi with it. Bianca looks in disbelief in the corner. Jade grabs the camera from the camera of the man. She hits Naomi with it. Jade tosses the camera onto the outside and places the garbage can on top of Naomi's head. Jade with a jumping kick to the face. Naomi rolls to the outside of the ring. Jade grabs the toolbox, lifting it, and she throws it towards Naomi, but Naomi moves out of the way. Jade to the outside, but Naomi slams her into the ring apron and into the announce table. Jade was leaning on the side of the table on a TV monitor, and Naomi drop kicks her into the monitor. Sparks go off and behind Jade, and Naomi grabs the table from under the ring. Bianca checks up on Jade on the outside. Naomi places the table in the ring, and Jade slowly gets in the ring. Naomi with a drop kick. Naomi grabs Jade and tries to push Jade's face into the leg of the table, but Jade pushes her away. Naomi on the ring apron, and she lands on a kick to the side of the head. Naomi wraps her legs around Jade and slams her first onto the ring apron. Naomi back in the ring, and she grabs the steel chair. Jade is on the ring apron, and Naomi hits Jade with it as Jade falls backwards through the table. And that is set up at ringside. Naomi to the outside, and she places Naomi back in the ring. Naomi slams Jade face first onto the steel chair. Naomi goes to recover, but Jade kicks out. Naomi places the table into the ring and he places it on Jade on it. She grabs the chair, placing it on top of Jade. Naomi climbs to the second rope, but Jade gets to her feet and she hits Naomi with the steel chair. Jade climbs to the top rope and it's Jaded through the table, and she goes to recover and gets the pin. Winner is Jade Cargill. Well, at least she won the queen. She's the queen of the ring, and now she's gonna it's still set up face. It's gonna be Jade versus Tiffany at SummerSlam 2025. And maybe in SummerSlam 2018. I expected, I can't get over. I expected, and I still not happy that that WWE didn't let that now I'm still that I expected that bitch ass Naomi to cash in on Jade and Tiffany tonight, but that didn't happen earlier. It's still gonna be official now. Jade versus Tiffany for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam next month. Yeah. Okay. Now this is Mike Tedesco tagging in from the great Roy Nemmer. Okay, what's been announced tomorrow night on Raw, LA Knight, main event Jey Uso, Penta, Braun Breaker, and CM Punk will battle in a gauntlet match with the winner to face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. We all know, even though I don't like the dude, despite the fact he has a leg injury, I know Seth Rollins might cash in, despite the fact that he has a Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand. But I know what WWE is going to do with the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand. I know some people think they might be stupid if they replace him placing with the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand. Um, Despite his doing his leg injury from last night when he was facing off LA Knight last night. 20 women battle royal: Nikki Bella versus annoying Chelsea Green versus Piper Niven versus Alba Fire versus Natalia versus Maxine Dupree versus Jada Parker versus Lash Legend versus Lola Vice versus Lena Vega versus Kalani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dom versus B Fab versus Mishin versus Ivy Nile versus Hannah Slory versus Nia Jax versus Nia Mahol Jax versus Stephanie Vicaire versus Women's U.S. Champion Julia. Winner of this match will receive a Women's Championship match at Clash in Paris. The bell rings and everyone starts to brawl. Nia Jax quickly grabs Tatum Paxley and sends her over the top rope to eliminate her. Izzy Dom immediately starts punching Jax to avenge her fallen friend. But Jax easily sends her over as well. Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker try to double team Jax, but Jax runs him over with a clothesline. Jax puts Jordan over on the apron and knocks her off the apron into the arms of Paxley and Dane. They catch her and land her in the commentary table, so Jordan's feet have touched the floor yet. Technically, Lorray attacks Lola Vice and she goes after Jax. Jordan then slides off the table and onto her hands and walks on her back to the apron. She puts her feet on the bottom rope and pulls herself on the apron before getting back in the ring. Jordan then hits Vice and Lorray with a double kick. Jordan takes Vice down with a cartwheel elbow. Lash Legend forearms Jordan with a takedown. Jordan down before hitting Nivey with a backbreaker. Jack avalanches Legend down and bounces her off the top turnbuckle. Stephanie Vicaire attacks Nile and goes for a running double knee, but Nile moves. Nile puts Vicaire on the top rope, but Vicaire grabs the iron and pulls her over the top rope. Julie then eliminates Nile by simply pushing the rest of her body on the top rope. Nikki Bella goes after Julia, but Julia takes down the WWE Hall of Famer, takes the WWE Hall of Famer down. A Nikki Bella champ picks up Julia and Vicaire go face to face. Julia extends her hand and Vicaire shakes it. They start the brawl in the center of the ring. They rock each other with headbutts before Vicaire hits her with a snap suplex. Bella attacks Vicaire and bounces her off her knee. Vicaire gets a snapmare and sets up a devil's kiss, but Chelsea Green kicks Vicaire in the face to stop it. The crowd loudly boos, and I don't blame them. Green slaps Bella, so Bella takes her down. The Secret Harvest grabs Bella for a double team suplex. Natalia and Maxine Dupree run over Natalia. Dupree and Bella hit Niven and fire with a triple team double suplex. Dupree does her reverse caterpillar and drops an elbow on Green and fire. Dupree gets Natalia to do it. Jordan whiffs on an attack to Natalia before Natalia blocks a second one. Natalia takes Jordan down with a discussed clothesline and gets her by the ropes. Jada Parker then comes from behind and eliminates Natalia. Parker tells Natalia to suck it. In the words of DX, Triple H, Dupree is furious and attacks Parker. Parker lifts Dupree and puts her on the apron. Dupree kicks her back, but Lorray knocks Dupree off the apron to eliminate her. Parker dumps Lorray on the apron, but Lorray snaps her off the ropes. Jordan attacks Lorray and sends Parker out to eliminate Candice LeRae. Michael Cole in calls her Candice LeRae, Candice Michelle. Messed up. Mishin sends Jordan and Parker into the corner and double teams them with B-Fab. Mishin and B-Fab dump Jaden Parker over the top rope to eliminate her. Jordan hits the ropes, but Jax clotheslines her over the top rope to the apron. Candice LeRae rips Jordan off the apron to eliminate her. In the ring, Legend tries to lift Jax, but Jax slides off and shoves her into the ropes. Legend whiffs a big boot to Jax. Jax rolls under the bottom rope to recover. Vega and Julia are brawling on the apron. Vega goes for a code red, but Julia blocks it. Julia Black slides her on the apron and knees her to the face. Julia goes for a pump handle slam, but Vega slides off and sends her into the ring post before kicking her to the floor to eliminate the women's United States champion. B-Fab and Niven are going at it. Niven sends her to the corner, but B-Fab avoids the avalanche. B-Fab goes for a spin kick, but B-Fab flips her over the top rope to eliminate her. Bishan is also eliminated, but the cameras miss what happened. Green is sent over the top rope to Niven to top rope to the apron. Bishan tries to pull Green off, but Fire hits Mishan with a suicide dive. Fire is still in the match since she went through the middle rope. Legend attacks Vega and lifts her. Vega attempts a hurricane, but Legend powers her back up. Legend presses Vega and throws her over the top rope to B-Fab and Mishan. Green and Niven double team Legend and send her into the ring post. The Green poses with a secret harvest. Bella then eliminates Fire from behind. Niven knocks Bella down. Green talks some trash and mocks Bella's taunt. Vice attacks Niven. Green grabs Vice and lifts her, but Vice gets away. Bella then spears Green down. Bella and Vice do the Bella dance. Niven then runs over them with a double clothesline. Niven puts Vice on the apron. Vice punches her back, but Niven eliminates her with a headbutt. Vicaria and Bella double team. They then double team up and eliminate Niven. Green smacks Bella, but Vicaria quickly takes her down with a back suplex. Vicaria then performs the Devil's Kiss on Green, eliciting a huge reaction. Bella hits Green with a TKO and sends her over the top rope to eliminate her. Jax takes Bella down and does the Bella dance. Jax sends Bella to the corner, but Bella boots her back before hitting a head scissor takeover. Jax lifts Bella and puts her on the apron. Bella hooks the head and starts to pull. Legend then big boots Bella off the apron to eliminate her. The final three are Nia Jax, Stephanie Vicaria, and Lash Legend. Legend lifts Jax and puts her on the apron. Vicaria and Legend double team Jax, but she fights them off. Legend responds with a big boot before using Vicaria to boot her. He finally knocks her off to the apron to eliminate her. It's down to Vicaria and Legend, the two future stars of the industry. Legend big boots Vicaria and lifts her. Vicaria slides off and smashes her with a lightning quick super kick. Vicaria connects with a 619 and goes for a springboard crossbody, but Legend catches her. Legend goes to the powerbomb after the top rope, but Vicaria hangs on and pulls Legend over the top rope. Vicaria hits Legend with a Devil's Kiss on the apron to eliminate her. Winner is Stephanie Vicaria. Stephanie Vicaria is going to France. She's going to WWE Clash in Paris to challenge for the women's championship. Dum 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 dum. Okay, Stephanie McMahon enters the ring to interview Stephanie Vicaria. McMahon asks in Spanish what this victory means to her. Vicaria responds in Spanish before saying English is difficult for her. It's not her first language. Wrestling is her first language. Vicaria gets emotional and thanks McMahon and every woman before them. For that reason, they can make history. Vicaria says Evolution is the biggest moment for her in career, and she promises she will keep working hard because you will remember her name forever. Vicaria embraces McMahon poses as Power Kinetics go off. Stephanie Vicaria is on Raw because she can face. Well, it looks like she's gonna might go after face off against that bitch ass Naomi at Clash in Paris. But I feel like somehow she might cheat to win. Okay, SummerSlam is coming soon, which is next month. The comedian Funny Marco is at ringside. Multi-platinum rapper, songwriter, and producer Quavo is also in attendance. And we'll see the main event, Women's World Championship, Raw Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley versus the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky. Referee is Jessica Carr. The bell rings and the main event begins. Rhea Ripley, who has never beaten this particular opponent in her career, stares across the ring at her. They lock up and Ripley backs her to the corner. Sky goes for the bottom turnbuckle and twists Ripley around. Sky wrenches the arm, but Ripley Storm stops the foot and wrenches the arm. Sky rolls through to get out of the pressure and hits a headlock takeover. Ripley quickly grapevines the head, but Sky gets out. Ripley hits a headlock takeover, but Sky grapevines the head. Ripley kicks out. They hit some quick elbows, some quick takedowns before Sky hits a snapmare for a 1 count. Ripley goes for a snapmare, but Sky lands on her feet and taunts Ripley. Ripley sighs in frustration. They take a few moments to circle the ring before up. Locking up. Sky does a standing switch and a waist lock. Ripley soon sends her to the corner and keeps her trapped there. Ripley feigns a punch and Sky covers up, so Ripley mocks her. Sky nods her head. Ripley respects Sky and gives respect back. Ripley says, "Good, so let's fight." Sky ducks some right hands and tries to leap over Ripley. She gets caught in the momentarily. Sky soon does a cartwheel and drop kicks her out of the ring. Sky gets the crowd going, hits the ropes for a suicide dive, but Ripley forearms her back. Ripley puts her in an electric chair, but Sky lands on her apron and kicks her back before hitting an inside moonsault. Sky gets Ripley in the ring and heads to the top rope. Sky dives into Ripley's shoulders and rolls her up for a 2 count. Ripley fights back, but Sky pulls her down and applies a crossface. Ripley immediately fights up and elbows out. Sky hits a drop toe hold into the ropes and does a 619 into a head scissor DDT on the apron. The crowd starts to chant. Women's wrestling. Sky sizes Ripley up on the apron and charges, but Ripley lifts her. Sky slides off and rocks her with a punch. Sky slings Ripley's leg onto the ropes, but Ripley responds with a knee to the face for launching her into the commentary table. Ripley grabs Sky at ringside and whips her hard into the LED barricade. Ripley bounces her off the steps and puts her in the ring. Crowd chants, "Mommy." Ripley hits a traditional backbreaker before hitting a front suplex on the top rope for a 2 count. Ripley then grapevines the body and starts to attack the ribs. Sky counters for a pin for a 2 count. Ripley immediately kicks her in the face fall for kicks her in the face fall for a near fall. Ripley is getting frustrated, getting pissed, getting infuriated with her inability to put Sky away. Ripley has never defeated Sky in her career. Ripley applies a grounded in abdominal stretch, and Sky fights her and punches out. Ripley rocks her into the right hand and sends her into the ropes. Sky ducks a pair of clotheslines and counters with a DDT. Both women are down. Crowd chants, "This is awesome." They exchange strikes with their knees before slowly getting their feet. Sky unloads some forearms. Ripley grabs her, but Sky counters into a wheelbarrow facebuster before hitting a double stomp into the midsection. Sky rocks her with a kick to the skull and hits a German suplex. Sky rolls out of the ring. Sky gets going and hits a suicide dive on Ripley. Sky sends her into the ring and hits a massive drop kick. Sky does a kip up, and flip up. Sky connects with a bullet train attack for a near fall. And then this is what happened. Look who showed up. Look who just showed up. Look who just showed up. Wait, hold on. Sky. Hold on, let me start up over again. Sky hits the top ropes. Sky cuts her off. Ripley goes for a super German suplex. Sky lands on her feet. Ripley avoids a counterattack. and climbs to the spine. Ripley tries to pull her to the ropes, but Sky sweeps her feet. Ripley lands hard on the turnbuckles. Sky grabs Ripley in a double underhook. Ripley counters with a back body drop. Sky lands on her feet and uppercuts away at her. Ripley fights back with some kicks and a face buster. Sky ducks a clothesline and goes for a satellite DDT, but Ripley avoids it. Ripley's elbows Sky back, and Sky responds with a poison round. 1-2, Ripley kicks out. There are dueling chants for both women. Sky steps on Ripley, but Ripley grabs the foot. Sky kicks her away. It heads to the top rope. Ripley grabs her, but Sky kicks her back again. Ripley crouches her into the top rope and hits a vicious razor's edge. Ripley immediately follows up with a sit-out powerbomb. 1-2, Sky kicks out. The crowd chants, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Ripley is infuriated and slaps herself as she can't beat Sky. Ripley goes for a riptide, but Sky counters with a sleeper hold. Ripley quickly backs her into the corner and clubs away at her. Ripley climbs to the second rope and sets up for a suplex, but Sky shifts her balance to the apron. Sky kicks Ripley off the ropes. Sky goes for a springboard missile dropkick, but she hits Jessica Carr when Ripley moves. Ripley headbutts Sky and hits a riptide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is no official. Ripley cannot believe that she has finally beaten Sky, but there is no one to count the pin. Ripley is frustrated, kicks the bottom rope. Ripley angrily grabs Sky and hits a big razor's edge. Sky rolls out of the ring to recover. Ripley then big boots Sky over the barricade. Ripley starts to club and punch Sky through the crowd. Ripley puts Sky through a metal handrail and punches and headbutts her down. Ripley climbs onto a road crate and tries to power Sky up. Sky grabs onto another crate and kicks Ripley away. Ripley falls to the floor. Sky climbs to the top, and Sky stacks rose crates and hits Ripley with a cross body block to the floor. Sky grabs Ripley and starts bouncing her off the walls and stomping her onto the steps. Sky sends Ripley over the barricade and they're back at ringside. Sky goes for a bullet train attack against the commentary table, but Ripley moves. Sky hits Ribs first onto the table, reuniting the pain in her injured ribs. Ripley gets Sky in the ring apron and she climbs to the apron. Sky goes for a sunset flip powerbomb on the apron, but Ripley holds the ropes. Sky pulls her away and hits a stiff powerbomb onto the floor. Sky heads to the top rope and hits over to the moonsault. Jessica Carr gets in the ring. 1-2, Ripley kicks out. The crowd and Io Sky are stunned. The crowd chants Rhea. Sky double stomps her and heads to the back. The crowd heads back to the top rope. Ripley rolls to the apron to save herself. Sky grabs Ripley, but Ripley punches her away and slams her face off the top of the ring post. Ripley smiles and climbs to the ropes. Ripley is on the top rope, but Sky counters with a Spanish fly. Both women down, and bam! Look who decided to show up. Naomi from SmackDown heads to the ring with Daphne O'Shine as the referee. Naomi's cashing in, making this a triple threat match. This is something I'm not happy about. Naomi, this is SmackDown. This is Raw, not SmackDown. Raw Women's World Championship triple threat match. Ripley versus Gina Sky, Io Sky versus the bitch ass Naomi. Sky waits for Naomi to hit her with a briefcase, but Naomi wasn't ready. Naomi rocks her with a briefcase shot. Naomi attacks Ripley and sends her to the ring post. Naomi, who has a bloody nose, taped up for a war against Jade Cargill earlier, hits Sky. Hits Sky with a legged moonsault for the win. And winner, new Raw Women's World Champion Naomi. Bullshit. Naomi celebrates with the Raw Women's World Champion pyrokinetics to go off. Naomi is absolutely fired up. This show comes to an end. All I can say is this. This is just completely bullshit. You know what? I don't know why. This is really a travesty. Just, why? Nami, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew she was gonna cash in. I knew this was gonna happen. I can't tell you how really I'm really pissed off about tonight. All I can say, way to go WWE, Triple H, Nick Khan, Stephanie. Way to go, pulling a swerve on all of us. And already made on TKO Holdings. Way to go, pulling a swerve on all of us fans. I'm really pissed off because Naomi didn't cash in on them tonight. I figured out why she didn't want to cash in on Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. You know why? Because she's a coward. She's afraid of Trish Stratus and she's afraid of Tiffany Stratton. And she's on SmackDown. And I'm pissed WWE pulled a swerve on us and she cashed in on Io and Rio from Raw. And she's on SmackDown, not Raw. That was really stupid. I can really see she doesn't want her no holds barred match to be for the women's for the SmackDown Women's title against Jade Cargill. She probably well I think she probably went to she went running the crowd over to Nick Aldis or some shit like that. I knew this was gonna happen. That Naomi's gonna pull a swerve on us. She didn't care. She never cared she never cared about cashing in on Tiffany Stratton and Tiffany and Trish. She just cared about go, cashing in on she just cared about herself. She didn't she I think she what, I don't care what anyone says, she really is a coward. A freaking coward tonight. She never. I mean, she. I know everybody know. Everybody knows she was a coward. She was afraid. She wanted. The reason why she wanted to cash in on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley from Raw because she's afraid. She's scared of. She was afraid of Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton. I mean. You know what this means now? This means we're gonna have ourselves another freaking. We're gonna have ourselves a WWE draft. Now we have the bitch ass Naomi on Raw. And you know what this means? And this means that we're gonna tomorrow night now she's gonna make some she's gonna run her mouth and I'm gonna press a mute because I don't want I'm listening I'm gonna be pressing a mute on her tomorrow night because I don't want to hear her shit tomorrow night Raw. And what's gonna happen is that Stephanie Vicari is gonna come out and challenge her for the Raw Women's Championship at Clash in Paris, and now will accept. But I know it all set, but it will be set Naomi defending her Raw Women's Championship against Stephanie Vicari at Clash at Paris. So this was a terrible show tonight. I don't know why in the world they're liking this shit. I mean, they really don't care about the talent. They really don't care about I mean WWE I mean they really don't care about I know that somehow WWE is gonna be shitting on Stephanie because I mean Evolution was terrible tonight. Wasn't worth watching. Y'all know they're gonna shit on Stephanie Vicari if they ever face off against Naomi for the Raw Women's title at Clash in Paris on August and next month on August 31st. And I mean this is a complete screw job tonight. Complete BS and I mean I don't know why in the world would you have somebody from SmackDown cash in on Raw superstars on two Raw superstars from Raw when she's supposed to be on SmackDown, not Raw. I knew this was gonna happen. The reason why she didn't want to cash in on Tiffany Stratton and Tiffy Time, Trish Stratus and Tiffy Time, because she's a fucking coward, a complete freaking coward. Everybody knows she's a coward. She was a real coward tonight, Tiffany Stratton. Complete coward. Wait, I mean, wait, their shit, I mean, the WWE is really shitting on on women's division right now. This is really just complete BS. Shame on you, WWE, pulling a swerve on all of us. Shame on you. Go to hell. I don't care what any of the fans say. It was just bullshit. Now I got that covered. Everything except covered. Now I got for my for tonight tonight's stupid show. Now it's time for something I like to do. It's time for it's time for so I can say go to hell Triple H. So I can say before I finish, I'm gonna say go to hell Triple H, go to hell Nick Khan, go to hell Ari Emanuel TKO Holdings, go to hell Stephanie. Let's have Naomi Bury talent. Let's have Naomi Bury talent. Let's have with the Raw Women's title. Let's have um, Raquel Rodriguez and and Roxanne Perez Bury talent with the SmackDown Women's Tag Team titles, and let's have Becky the Man Whore Lynch bury women for the Women's Intercontinental title. Yeah, let's have Naomi. Like I said, let's have Naomi bury women for the Raw Women's title. Let's have Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez bury. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez bury women for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. And let's have the Man Whore Becky Lynch bury women for the Intercontinental title. Yeah, and Julie, and I heard Michael, Julie got eliminated by Julie got eliminated by Julie got eliminated tonight by in Battle Royal by Zelina Vega because for taking her U.S. title. So let's get down tonight to show that okay now as I was saying let's all you know what it's time for. It's time for something I like to do. It's time for It's time for Justin's Time History, all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and all that stuff in history. All you hear that thing from Back to the Future star Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd is celebrating his 40th anniversary on July 3rd, 2025, because the movie was released July 3rd, 1985. Let's go to today's wrestling history and birthday history for July the 13th. Okay. See, today is a happy 43rd birthday. 43rd birthday. Chris Cash. Chris Cash and and today's happy 53rd birthday to Sean Waltman, better known as Expert 123 Kid. Izzy Dang, some of you know Izzy Dang from competing tonight's Battle Royal. She turns 26 today. Today's a happy 41st birthday to Jake Kreese from AEW. And Brett Valentine turns 33 today. Now let's go to see some today's wrestling history today. On this day in 1985, Madison Square Garden, New York City, Ivan Putski defeated Moondog Spot. The Missing Link defeated Rick McGraw, Quick Rick McGraw, Quick Rick McGraw. Pedro Morales defeated Rene Goulet. Adrian Adonis defeated Jose Luis Videla. The Junkyard Dog defeated Bob Orton Jr. Terry Funk defeated Larry Poffo by submission. Paul Orndorff defeated Roddy Piper by DQ. The Iron Sheik defeated Sway Hansen. George the Animal Steel defeated and Nikolai Volkov fought in a draw by the squad double countout. Brutus the Barber BK defeated George Wells, and the British Bulldogs David Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid defeated the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Jimmy Emma Neidhart by draw curfew. And on this day in 2015, on Monday Night Raw, July 13th, 2015, the women's revolution begun on this day with Stephanie Vicaire. The women's revolution evolution began. Yep, 10 years ago today.
Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Friend the Merchant.
Okay. Yeah, that was my mom getting my pill. Okay. 10 years ago today, the women's division began. Stephanie McMahon introduces women's division. With Stephanie McMahon came out and then introduced the new three women out: Paige, the man whore Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Until the Bella Twins came out and condemned the Bella Twins. And then let's see what else. We see a segment between Paul Heyman, piece of shit, and dickhead Seth Rollins, who's now in an injury from last night's Saturday night's main event. In the matches, we see is Randy Orton and Ryback defeated Sheamus and the Big Show. Dean Ambrose and versus Bray Wyatt in a no contest. The Primetime Players and Mike Henry defeated the New Day. R-Truth defeated King Barrett. Rusev with Summer Rae defeated Cesaro and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match. Rusev with Summer Rae defeated John Cena in DQ, the U.S. title match. And Stardust defeated Neville. Yeah, Seth Rollins confronted Brock Lesnar on this night. Yeah, the NXT was Paige. Stephanie McMahon announced Paige, the man whore Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. And this was the night when the man whore Becky Lynch put a little cross armbar on one of the either was Nikki or Brie, I believe. Yeah. So that'll do for my show tonight. And I'll say WWE Evolution was terrible tonight, and 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 but last night's AEW Dynam at AEW All in Texas, that was good. WWE lost tonight. AEW put WWE in their place. So that'll do it for all of you. I hope you have a good night. As a late chance, I'm the Godfather Soldiers, or some of his late chance, or I should say, like to dress up a church checker, sing like Leonard dance like James Brown, like to get in that hot tub, when we sweat, gonna make me dry, gonna make me wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I never grew up back in the 80s. I never grew up I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s watching old school Saturday Night Live on Comedy Central. So far, a good night. And Evolution was a terrible show tonight. So probably good night. I'm out of here. Peace.